the sting of being disrespected. That gut punch when you realize you were treated like a used napkin. The lump in your throat knowing that every effort you made was about as significant as a spam email. But hold up, that nonsense ends right now. While you were busy rehashing every detail and trying to figure out where you went wrong, she already moved on, happier than ever, without a single second wasted thinking about you. But guess what? That's about to change. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to turn her disrespect into the biggest mistake she's ever made. And no, we're not talking about childish games, tearful long texts, or pathetic declarations. That's amateur hour. What we're using here is far more lethal. Strategic coldness. She ignored you? Perfect. Now it's time to vanish from her life. And when she notices your absence, it'll be way too late. Listen closely. If you follow every single step I'm about to lay out, not only will she miss you, she'll start questioning whether she made the worst decision of her life. Before we dive in, a quick word. This video exists because someone before you had the decency to like and subscribe. So do your part. Don't be a digital leech. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a thanks in the comments. Not for me, but for the algorithm. Because that's the only way this message reaches someone who needs a wake-up call. No more messing around. Let's get to the good stuff. 1. The initial disrespect. The spark for transformation. You've been there. That exact moment when your pride takes a gut punch. You muster up the courage, send that message, extend the invitation, try to show you care. Only to get hit back with a bucket of cold water. You're a nice guy, but I don't feel anything for you. Sorry, but I only see you as a friend. Or worse, that glorious, deafening silence. It hurts. And don't even try to pretend it doesn't. You can act tough all you want, but deep down, a piece of you shatters. Your pride is bleeding. Your mind goes into overload, trying to pinpoint your mistake. You replay every conversation, every laugh, every good morning, thinking you were on the right track. But reality slaps you in the face without mercy. Here's where most guys make the worst mistake. They try to fix things. You believe that if you explain yourself better, she'll see what she lost. You think that if you show even more interest, she'll reconsider. You assume that if you push just a little more, she might change her mind. But no, she won't, because the moment she rejected you, she put you on a shelf. The shelf for disposable guys, for men with no impact. Guys who can vanish without anyone noticing. And every desperate attempt to reverse that only cements that label on your forehead. So now you have two choices. Keep dragging yourself along, begging for attention, proving that she was 100% right to ignore you. Swallow that bitter truth and use her disregard as the fuel for your transformation. Believe it or not, this rejection might be the best thing that ever happened to you, if you know how to use it. 2. What she expects you to do, and the deadly mistake you must avoid. Now pause and think. What does she expect you to do? She knows you were there, head over heels, investing your time, energy, and attention. She knows you wanted something real. She's already got the entire script in her head. She expects you to chase after her. That pathetic final message. That desperate, what did I do wrong? As if she's going to give you a genuine answer. That over-the-top display of how amazing you are, as if that'll change anything. She expects you to keep orbiting her life, always available, always ready to listen to her dramas, always waiting for just a crumb of attention. She expects that if she needs a favor, you're there. That if she's bored, you'll drop everything and come running. That if she wants to stroke her ego, she can tease you a little before ghosting you again. Because to her, you're predictable, you're harmless. So from now on, you're going to do the exact opposite of what she expects. Don't send any messages. Don't try to understand her reasons. Don't look for validation. Don't show anything. You're going to disappear. That absence will be the first crack in her certainty. Because what happens when something predictable stops happening? Her mind freaks out. She starts to wonder. Wait, why did he vanish? Shouldn't he be reaching out? Could it be he's already with someone else? That, my friend, is the key. While you're there, ready and waiting for a chance. You're irrelevant. But the moment you disappear, the moment she realizes you can live your life without her, something shifts. She feels a disturbance, a hint of doubt, an annoying curiosity. And that's only the beginning. Now, you're going to deepen that feeling. You're going to turn your absence into a vacuum she can't ignore. And for that, you'll use the most powerful weapon there is, absolute coldness. 3. Strategic coldness. How to disappear and become a mystery. Strategic coldness isn't just about ignoring messages or pretending you don't care. Anybody can do that for a day or two before having a meltdown and crawling back. The real game changer is when you transform into an enigma. The rule is simple and ruthless: zero contact. No just checking in messages. No replying if she sends a "Hey stranger" text. No viewing her stories, liking her photos, or interacting in any way. From now on, you become a ghost in her life. But here's the catch. It's not just about what she sees. It's about what you feel. Because the true challenge here isn't her, it's you. You'll feel the urge to check if she saw your last posts. You'll want to know if she's already with someone else. You'll fight the impulse to send that casual, just testing the waters message. And if you cave in, congratulations, you reset everything, reinforcing her belief that you'll always be there. Strategic coldness works because of one brutal psychological truth. Absence creates value. Think about anything you once had in abundance that suddenly disappeared. That friend who was always available, now ghosting you. Your favorite restaurant that unexpectedly closed. That everyday object you used to depend on, suddenly gone. At first, it might not matter. But over time, the weight of the loss sets in. Now imagine her mind working the same way. Before she knew you were there. Even if you were ignoring her, she knew she could call on you anytime. Now everything has changed. You're gone. You've vanished. You're no longer accessible, easy, or predictable. And it's at that precise moment that the coldness starts doing its magic. She opens WhatsApp and sees her last message still sitting unanswered. She posts a photo and notices you haven't liked it. She sees you online but feels a twinge when nothing comes from you. It might not happen in the first week, maybe not even in the second. But sooner or later, the doubt will creep in. And doubt is the first step toward regret. But here's the thing. Simply disappearing isn't enough. If you vanish without any evolution, the impact will be minimal. And that's where the most important part of the game comes in. Your visible transformation. 4. Visible transformation. The new unapologetic you. Vanishing from her life is half the battle. Now comes the most delicious part. Making sure that when she finally notices you're gone, she doesn't find the same guy she once dismissed. She needs to look at you and think, wait, this isn't the guy I ignored. How did he change so much? Why am I feeling this now? Because the brutal truth is, no one misses someone who stays exactly the same. If you stick to your same monotonous routine, the same boring habits, the same lackluster energy, nothing will change in her mind. But if, when she sees you again, she realizes you've become an inaccessible, intriguing, and desirable man, her mind will short-circuit. And to make that happen, 3 areas need to change visibly. 1. Appearance. The first knock to her perception. Whether you like it or not, looks are the first thing anyone notices. And before you start with that pathetic, "I'm not going to change for her" line, forget that nonsense. You're not changing for her. You're changing because the best revenge is being desired by everyone. What needs to happen? A fresh haircut that flatters your face and radiates confidence. Ditch the same old look. A body in progress. You don't have to become a bodybuilder, but hitting the gym, improving your posture, and dressing well work wonders. An updated style. Clothes that show you value yourself. No more torn t-shirts or scuffed sneakers. When she sees you again, even if it's just in a photo, the first thought should be, wow, he's changed. And that, my friend, is just the beginning. 2. An active social life. The final blow to her illusion. Nothing rattles someone more than realizing the person they ignored is living an amazing life without them. Your new mission. Fill your days with fresh experiences. Not to prove anything to her, but because you deserve a life that's truly exciting. This means new hobbies that ignite your energy, sports, travel, adventures, anything that challenges you and helps you grow. New connections, more friends, better networking, and new environments. Be a man rich in social life. Surround yourself with interesting people. And here's the crucial detail. You need to be seen with other women. This doesn't mean you have to fake a relationship. It doesn't mean posting forced photos. But if she sees you in social settings, surrounded by intriguing people, including women, the message is loud and clear. He's desirable, he doesn't need me. And that's when the mental storm begins for her. 3. Energy and attitude. The internal transformation that breaks her comfort zone. The most powerful change isn't external, it's internal. Because nothing is more magnetic than a man who exudes confidence and couldn't care less about validation from others. You walk differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. That insecure guy who desperately craved her approval is dead and buried. And when she realizes that, the game changes. Her certainty that you were a zero starts to crack, and doubt becomes a far more dangerous weapon for her. Regret. Soon enough, she begins to wonder, what if I made the wrong choice? What if he's actually an amazing guy and I missed it? What if another woman sees his value before I do? And that's where the next move comes in, triggering that doubt permanently. Wake up! If you're sick and tired of being the doormat she steps on whenever she fancies it, of settling for crumbs and getting tossed aside like garbage, now's the time to put an end to this farce. It's time to stop swallowing disrespect and turn the tables. In the description, you'll find a digital book I left for you. Read it, and then learn how to be a genuine challenge, how to never lower your head for any woman again, how to put any woman in her place without mercy. Enough of being stepped on, enough of being discarded. Become the man they'll regret letting go. 5. The psychology of attraction, how to trigger her doubt. Her mind is already starting to unravel. She's noticed your absence. She misses you. She's seen you change. Now you're going to turn that doubt into something even more potent. Because humans have one classic flaw. We always desire what we can't have. Before, you were right there, accessible, predictable, utterly unremarkable. Now you're out of reach, and that scares her. In her mind, a thought starts to form. What if I made a mistake? Your mission is to intensify that uncertainty. How? By activating the right psychological triggers in her head. 1. The scarcity trigger. When something becomes rare, desire explodes. The human brain values rarity. If something is always available, it loses value. But when it becomes scarce, desire skyrockets. Now you're scarce. You're no longer on her WhatsApp. You're not liking her photos anymore. You've stopped being her safe option. That creates urgency. If she sees that other women are showing interest in you, the fear kicks in. Fear that if she doesn't act fast, someone else will take the spot that was once hers. And that insecurity is exactly what you want to plant in her mind. 2. The curiosity trigger, making her wonder. What's going on? If you vanish completely, she might miss you. But without any stimulus, that feeling could fade. So, you need to play it smart. And the most powerful tool for this? Social media. But be careful. No cheesy indirect posts. No depressed quotes or sad songs. The game here is different. You show evolution. Post photos of you traveling, playing sports, hanging out with good company. Share videos where you radiate confidence and positive energy. Share snippets that clearly show your life is better than ever. Then you stop. No overdoing it. No constant posting. Just enough to spark her curiosity and let her burn with uncertainty. 3. The uncertainty trigger. The agony of unanswered questions. The worst mental torture? Not having answers. When the mind is left hanging, it works overtime to fill in the gaps. Now she sees your posts and starts asking herself, did he move on? Is he already with someone else? How is he doing so well without me? And as those questions pile up, her regret intensifies. Soon enough, she begins to miss what she dismissed. She realizes she lost someone valuable. And when doubt turns to regret, she takes action. She reaches out to you. But now, the game has changed. This time, she needs your attention, and you need to know exactly how to handle it so you remain in control. And that, my friend, is a topic for the next move. When she makes the first move, how to play it right. The moment has arrived. After weeks of silence, after witnessing your transformation, after feeling your absence gnawing at her, she finally caves and sends a message. It could be a classic, "Hey stranger." Maybe a random question that she knows very well could have been asked by anyone else. Or just a strategic like on your photo, hoping you'll bite the bait and do the dirty work. But before you start celebrating, understand one thing. It doesn't mean she wants you back. In most cases, she isn't even sure what she wants. She just realized she missed you. Notice she lost control, and now she's testing the waters. And this is exactly where most guys mess everything up. The mistake that ruins it all. The instant that notification pops up, what do 90% of men do? They reply immediately, showing their anxiety. They get overly excited and start chatting nonstop. They reveal they're still 100% available. And what happens? She realizes she still has power over you. And just like that, she vanishes again. Then, my friend, congratulations. You're back to square one. If you truly want to flip the script, follow these 3 essential rules. 1. Never reply immediately. No matter what the message is, wait. It doesn't matter if you saw the notification. It doesn't matter if you're online. It doesn't matter if your brain is screaming to reply. Do not reply right away. Why? Because it shows you have a life. It shows your attention isn't automatic anymore. It shows that now she has to work for it. A rushed reply only reinforces that despite everything, you're still there. And that's not the message you want to send. 2. Keep it short and confident. When you finally do reply, keep it cool. No overexcitement, no neediness. If she says, "Hey stranger," you reply, "Yeah, hey." If she asks a random question, answer objectively without dragging out the conversation. No overuse of emojis. No returning questions. No trying to impress her. This creates a powerful psychological effect. Now she feels like she's lost something. Now she realizes you're no longer the easy guy you once were, and that imbalance forces her to try harder. She starts engaging more. She tries to figure out what happened. She invests more. Congratulations, you flipped the script. 3. Never revert to the old you. This is the ultimate test. If she starts showing more interest, if she calls you more often, if it seems like she's beginning to see you differently, do not fall back to being the doormat she dismissed. Because what made you attractive again wasn't just your absence. It was the new, transformed you. If you go back to being needy, available, and predictable, she'll see you as disposable again. But if you maintain your stance, your confidence, and your evolved mindset, she won't be able to ignore you. She'll start desiring you. And now you're the one calling the shots. Because this time the game is in your hands. 7. The moment of choice. Do you move on or give her a second chance? Now you've reached a point that once seemed impossible. She's back. She's talking to you. She's showing interest. But now comes the crucial question. What do you really want? Because up to this point, it was all about regaining control, flipping the script, making her feel your absence. Now the decision is yours. Is she really worth it? Or do you just want the ego boost of reclaiming what you think you lost? The worst thing you can do now is act impulsively. If you take her back without truly assessing whether she's worth it, congratulations. You might just end up in the same toxic cycle again. So before even considering a second chance, pay attention to these signals. Has she really changed, or did she just miss you temporarily? Remember, just because she reached out doesn't mean her feelings have changed. It might just be her wounded ego reacting to the fact that you moved on. There's a huge difference between someone who's truly remorseful and someone who just wants to prove they still have power over you. Look for the details. Is she genuinely interested in talking, connecting, listening? Or is she just playing games, waiting for you to make all the effort? If it's the latter, be careful. Did you really change or just put on a show to get her attention? Here's a hard truth few dare admit. Many guys go through all this only to win back her interest. And once they succeed, they revert to their old, needy selves. And then guess what? She sees it was all an act and discards you again. If you've spent weeks improving your looks, strengthening your mindset, building an active social life, developing your confidence,
and now you're about to throw it all away just to crawl back into her arms, then you haven't learned a damn thing.
what got you here was your real transformation, your evolution. If it was all just a performance to win her back, eventually the mask will fall off. So ask yourself, do you still want this woman? Or have you realized you deserve something far better? Are you choosing or just reacting? If she rejected you once, it means there was a time when you weren't her priority. Now that she's back, you need to understand why. Did she truly acknowledge your value? Or did she just notice you were doing well and didn't want to lose your attention? If it's the latter, you need the cold, hard truth to see it clearly and move on without looking back. Now the decision is all yours. If you want to give her another shot, do it intelligently. Keep your standards high. Continue being the best version of yourself, and never again allow yourself to be an easy prize. Or, if you realize she only came back because she sees you as an option again, then this time the answer is a firm no. 8. The final word, your choice, not hers. Now you're in a completely different place from where you started. Before, she had all the control. She decided if you were worthy of attention. She decided if you were interesting enough. She decided if you were worth it. But now, you call the shots. And that's the biggest lesson of all. True power lies in your ability to choose who gets to be in your life. If you went through all this just for a fleeting validation, then you learned nothing. But if you've made it this far and realized that the most important thing wasn't her, it was your own evolution, then you finally understand the essence of the game. Because what brought you here wasn't her. It was the rejection that made you see your own weakness. It was the absence that forced you to grow. It was the coldness that taught you to value yourself. Now you have 2 options. 1, you can take her back, but on your terms. If after everything you still believe she's worth it, that her interest is genuine, and that this time things will be different, then go ahead. But remember, you're not just going to welcome her back as if nothing happened. This time the rules are yours. You're no longer the 24/7 available guy. Your life doesn't revolve around her. You're not chasing after her. She'll have to prove she's truly changed. She'll have to show that she values you. She'll have to earn back the space she once occupied without effort. Because you're not the same guy anymore. 2, you can move on and never look back. If, after evaluating everything, you realize that what you really wanted wasn't her at all, but to reclaim the power you thought you lost, then there's no reason to go back. If she only reached out because she missed your presence, and not because she genuinely recognized your value, then you already know the answer. She was just a chapter in your story. But that chapter is over, because your life goes on. Your achievements continue. Your evolution never stops. And best of all, you no longer need anyone's validation. Because the truth is simple. The moment you become a man who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone, you become untouchable. Now, who's worried about losing something is her. You flipped the script, and now the game is yours.